good evening and welcome to Come Paint With Me. I am 4 minutes late. Now, I'm on Facebook, but I'm on... Hi, good evening and welcome to Come Paint With Me with your host, Angela Van Dinter. We're going to be talking a little bit tonight about why I started art. I've actually streaming this on my personal page rather than my art page because I've got more people on my personal page. I will be putting it on my art page in a minute. I'm also going to go on Instagram in a sec as well, and so that Instagram can see my face and the butterfly, I'm going to try something. So bear with me. First of all, I'm going to make sure this is on my art page. So yes, once we get some viewers, I'd love you to comment, tell me where you're from, ask any questions. So come paint with me. The idea is it's not just me talking. I remember, bear with me whilst I try and do this at the same time as talking. I remember back in the day that I would have guests on, and I actually started this show with Zoom calls, and then we put the Zoom call on Facebook, I think it was. I've got all sorts of technology going on here, so I'm just trying to work out where my volume is. I think it's there. Oh, that's not it at all. Oh Lord. So talk amongst yourselves whilst I work out where the volume is. Oh, there it is. Just want to make sure that you don't hear an echo in a sec. Okay, that's great. So I'm just going to share to a page. Dear me. I don't remember. Give me a second. Okay, well maybe I'll do that later. I'll share I'll share to other places later. No, I can't remember how to do it. Right, we're going to try the other thing. We're going to try getting my face on Instagram. Obviously Facebook you can see my face, but the rest on Instagram you can't. So let's see. I believe that you can. Oh dear. Next time I might do a practice drive of this. Okay. Right, so let's go live on Instagram. And then hopefully I'll be able to invite somebody. That is my hope. Okay, so we're live on Instagram now as well. Bear with me a second. So coming up next week, we have the Come Paint With Me in person, that is the word, in-person event. And that's going to be locally here at in Rochdale, and a beautiful place called Hollingworth Lake. And you can get tickets on Eventbrite. There is links in the bio. Hello there. Thank you for joining us. I am just trying to work out how to get my face on here as well. So bear with me a second while I work out how to do that. I think I want to... Is this live? No. No. Okay. Okay, you know what? Sorry, Instagram. You're going to see my face a little bit. Hi. Nice to see you. I'm doing great. It's nice to see you. Oh, okay. So you're streaming in from Uganda. That's fantastic. I hope that you enjoy art. So yes, so I was saying that I'm going to be doing a in-person event at the Wine Press just next to Hollingworth Lake next Monday night. So in terms of this program, we will probably record it beforehand, so it won't be live, but we'll make sure that we put the program on. I have a YouTube channel, so please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then I'll be able to directly stream on YouTube, which will be absolutely brilliant. So I'm because at the moment I don't have enough subscribers, so I need you to I need you to subscribe on YouTube. So bear with me a sec. We will get some painting done in a bit. Everyone's got all the rest of their stuff. Oh, I know why. Oh, I know why this isn't working, because I need to go to Art Antics. Let's go to Art Antics. Bear with me a sec. Let's just say that I'm doing a... Okay. Let's say I'm live. Okay, that's good. Right, okay. Let me see if I can... Send request. Yes, this is going to work. This is going to work. That worked. Wave. Very good. You're working in a charity in Africa helping orphans. That's wonderful. Okay. Share this video. Send a request. Angela sent a request to be on your live video view. Go live with Angela Antics. And I think this is now working. Share this video with others so they can watch too. Share video. Oh, okay. Let's not do that. Is this working? I'm not sure. I'm just interested to be in your live video. Go live with... Yeah. I think we are... I think we're there. Yes. Great. So, get on every time it goes live, share video, requested. I don't know if that's working. I'm not sure if that's working. But what we're going to do is going to start some painting. Sorry, that was 7 minutes of trying to get this all sorted. We're gonna try this again sometime so it actually like works, because you can see my face, but when I start painting in a minute, you'll only probably be able to see the back of my head. Right, like I said, I'm going to put this on YouTube later on. We've got a couple of viewers, so hello, and we've got some viewers. Ah, hang on, is that it there? Accept. I think I've worked out. Is this right? Is this right? Go live with Angela Antics. I think this might be right. Yes, I think this is going to work. I'm so excited. So if this goes right, then I'm using app. You should be able to. Yes. Oh, one sec. There we go. Oh, it's. Oh, dear. I'm going to turn all the sounds down. Oh, just turn. I don't know how to make this work. No, I don't want to do that. Are we still there? Have I gone off? Are we still there? Right. Is that working? Hopefully we're not squeaking. Right. Going to find some paintbrushes. And we're going to make a start. The person has disappeared on the bottom of the other one. I don't know whether that's working. I still need to turn that down so that we can't hear anything. Media says it's not. So media shouldn't sound anything, but it is doing. So today is full of bloopers. Okay. So I'm just going to turn that off because it's not working and it sounds terrible. So let's turn that off. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to turn it off. Okay. And oh, it's still making sounds. Should have gone. It's gone. And we'll probably get this back on Instagram as well. Tina! Hi, Tina! Right, it's been a bit chaotic. Was trying to do something very clever. I was trying to, so that you could actually see my proper face whilst I'm painting. I was trying to use a different screen, but I'm going to obviously have to practice because that was a lot harder than I thought it'd be. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Right, so yes, art. So many of you will have seen that. I'm sure there's a couple of people on now, but there'll be more people that will see this. Next Monday night is our first in-person Come Paint With Me event. Come Paint With Me has a history. We used to be on YouTube and with Zoom calls throughout the pandemic. I started it to create kind of like a well-being art hub for those that were not necessarily suffering, but just a kind of like all about kind of like maintaining well-being and maintaining wellness. I'm glad you like the butterfly. That's really cool. So I'm going to be working some more on that tonight. I'm just going to try and find some. I have the smallest. Oh dear, where is my paint? Give me a sec. Where my paint's gone? Oh yeah, right at the back. Oh. It has to be the most chaotic one I've ever done. There we go, right. And it would be even more chaotic if Molly was in here, but thankfully she's, I think she's downstairs at the moment. So yeah, we used to do Zoom calls and people would actually come on and they would paint with me. And so that is the idea, that eventually Come Paint With Me, people will come on a Zoom call or even just watch the live and be able to paint as well, although it's not something you necessarily have to do, but it's it's something that you can do. And so next Monday night we will be having the first in-person Come Paint With Me event at the Wine Press next to Hollingworth Lake, and you can book in on Eventbrite, and that will be for £35, and that includes food and all your materials. So we've got a few people booked in. This will be the first ever one, the premiere of Come Paint With Me in person. But I know there will be more events, so watch this space, and there'll be all sorts of different events as well. So yeah, very exciting times. I also need to find a palette. I'm going to use this one over here. I'm going to do one over here. Yep, use this one here. Okay, so the idea is that you will be able to. Yep, you cannot see. I can't get this on Instagram and Facebook because I have the tiniest studio ever, I think my studio might have been the same size when I was in Lancashire, but now I'm in Rochdale. Oh, there we go. But I don't know whether, no, don't think. Oh, there we go. So you see, you can't see my face on Instagram, but you see my face for a bit, so that's cool. Right, let me find the right paintbrush. And so I don't know if Tina's still on, but one of the things about this is you can ask me questions. I don't know if Reggie's having to do some work right now, but you can ask me questions. So what I was going to talk about was, sorry, loud sound. What I was going to talk about is why I started painting. Or not why I started painting, but why art. And I was sharing my story at an event on Saturday night, and I obviously didn't go into the main crux of this, because that's not what the other event was about. But art has always had a very poignant place in my life, and many of you know, oh, thanks Tina, many of you will know that, yeah, I'm a Christian, so I believe, you know, that God has like saved me, and you know, he's the one that's kind of like helped me all the way through my life. However, I truly believe that he used art as a way to look after me and to keep me safe in a lot of ways, because back when I was 7, I remember being 7 and sitting on a wall with my sketchbook. I remember I think I was painting ducks or something. There we go, we're actually going to start some painting today. I don't even know if you can see that. No, you probably can't see that. Let me see if I can move that around so you can see it. Oh boy, there we go. So I remember sitting on a wall and I had my sketchbook, and I was sketching. I think I was just like, you know, in my own world. I realize now, as a little girl, as a little 7-year-old girl, I was very much in my own world, just in some ways, you know, I realized I was just surviving. I was just and me being in my own world, like in my own imagination, in my own thoughts, in my own place, just me and my sketchbook, me and art. In some ways it saved me from like having so much bitterness and realizing kind of what was going on with me. I knew that I was being bullied, and I knew that I didn't have any friends, but I don't think I realized the knock-on effect of that, and I don't think I realized how traumatic that was, and how much was being stolen from me at even a very young age. So I didn't go to school very much at all. It just didn't happen. Back in the day, you could easily not go to school and nobody would really notice. So I didn't go to school, and it seemed like nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that I wasn't there. Nobody noticed. Oh dear, I'm getting black on my hands. Nobody noticed that I was struggling. I guess because I just wasn't there. So because I wasn't there, you know, they didn't have any responsibility for me, I suppose. And gosh, if it was now, you know, I think it would have been very, very, very different. But back in I think it would have been the 80s. If you didn't go to school, it seemed like it wasn't a big deal. I think that we had kind of the authorities round about once, but really didn't seem, they didn't seem to care. So I just don't remember going to school a whole lot, and consequently, so I was obviously bullied, and that obviously meant that I didn't want to go to school, and also I just I how do I put this? I wasn't great at having baths. I wasn't great at having showers, and because I hadn't been to school, my education had really fallen away, and so I really struggled at school. So yeah, so it was a difficult time. But you know, the one thing that I know is that I always had art. Art was always a thing that I could do. It was always my safe place. It was always something that I enjoyed doing, and even at school. Now, when I did go to school, my favourite teacher was an artist called Mrs. Milikoris, and she was wonderful. She was absolutely amazing, and I loved her a lot. And she really kind of looked out for me, and just made sure that when I was in, people gave me attention, but that she that as a teacher she gave me attention, because I remember a lot of the teachers not really giving me a lot of attention, which wasn't, because it just wasn't there a lot of the time. So yeah, and I do have fond memories of winning lots of art competitions. My dad was in the police, and not in the police, he worked for the police. He wasn't the police, but he worked for the police, and he would have these like massive fair sort of things, and they would have these art competitions that I would do lots of pen and ink drawings for, and I would do lots of coloured pencil, and I did lots of pen and ink. I did lots of nature. Nature was always something that was really, really important in our lives, and well, as you can see, I'm drawing sort of drawing nature now, and so yeah, it's always been something really important to us, even as a family, and so it was something I loved drawing. I remember my favourite animal was a hedgehog. I absolutely loved hedgehogs. They were just like, and in fact, at one point I remember I was part of the Hedgehog Preservation Society. That's how into hedgehogs I was. So yeah, so I do loads of pen and ink and different things. I never really painted. I never painted until I was in Argentina. And sorry. So that's when I started painting. But yeah, so I did do all sorts of other things. Anything that you could do, I would do as an artist sort of thing. Just trying to look know how to do this. Yeah, so I did lots, and I also remember when I was very young. In fact, I was 7. I won a competition for my family to go on holiday, and I can't remember. It was for a Mother's Day competition, and I can't remember what I said, but I drew a picture of my mum, I think, and she. I remember it was put up in Boots. It was it won the competition, which I was absolutely astounded at. And back in the day, and so I can't remember where the holiday was to, but we won a holiday, which was fun. But like I said, I can't remember where the holiday was to. And then I remember once. I can't remember again, and I can't remember like what this was for. I think it might have been actually for, so with the competitions with the pen and ink drawings that I used to do, and did houses and I did all sorts of things. Baby hedgehogs are gorgeous. I don't see many hedgehogs anymore. No, that's true. I wonder whether there's like some sort of like a bit extinct. Yeah, maybe that's why. I mean, like I said, I was part of the Preservation Society. I think I even made my own Preservation Society, like in my bedroom, like you do when you're a child, don't you? You do that sort of thing. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I did all these like different, and then one I did was a dinosaur. Now I don't think that one won. Completely won. I think it got like to like stage 2 or something, but I'd often get like some sort of prize. I'd get like prize, what's it called, first prize, second prize, third prize, and I'd win quite a lot. First prizes, second prizes, and third prizes. So I mean, for somebody who felt quite, rejected and bullied at school, it did really good to my heart, to win these competitions, because no matter what happened, I always knew that I was good at art. It was something I was always good at. I might not have been good at anything else, although that wasn't true, and I found that out eventually. But I knew that I was good at art. So I kind of always had that to fall back on, and even when it goes to a sixth form college, I had teachers saying to me that I wasn't good enough, that I wouldn't be able to get into art college. And I remember I had to make this like mountain. I don't know why I made a mountain, but I made a mountain, and I got in. I got in with this mountain. They loved what I did, and the teacher, I remember, again, I just think, I don't know if she had it in for me, I don't know, but I mean, to be honest, I was pretty much on like flexi time. I was on my time. Like, I would come in when I wanted, go home when I wanted, because even at school, like at high school, I did go much more than primary school, but my attendance was shocking. And but my form tutor in my I think he was my form tutor all the way through. He liked me. I mean, I don't know anything strange, but he liked me, and he made sure that I had 85% attendance. Now, I knew there's no way did I have 85% attendance even at high school, but that's what he put down, because I think if he hadn't have put that down, I would have got really penalised, and he didn't want me to get penalised. He didn't want me to go on my record forever. I might not have been able to get into the college that I went to had I had the kind of attendance that I had in real life. But I guess he felt, I don't know, he felt sorry for me or whatever, and at the end of the day he did lie, but I was like, well, that's his problem. If he wants to do that, then he can do that, and so he did. And it meant that because he was willing to, I guess, bend the truth, and I'm not an advocate of bending the truth in any way, shape or form, but I look at it as because I wasn't bending the truth, I was a student. I look at it as in it was favour. He was showing me favour because I didn't really deserve to pass school. I didn't deserve in some ways to go to college because my attendance had been pretty shocking. But nevertheless, they all wanted me to go, and so they made it so that I could go. And today I've got 2 degrees. Thinking about, yeah, exactly. He saw something in me. Yeah, I reckon he saw something in me. That meant that he could see that I was capable of a lot more. But saying that though, I said how I didn't go to school much and my grades were really terrible. Oh, is it raining in Germany? Yeah, we're doing okay. I am back at work tomorrow. I was just saying a little bit of my story, Mark, about how I've always done art, and how in some ways it was my saving grace, because even when nothing else worked for me in my life, art did. But the story goes that even though I didn't go to school very much when I was little, because of possible ill health, who knows, when I got to high school, I worked really hard at high school, and before the end of the first year, I was in the top class. Apart from for maths, I wasn't in the top class for maths, but for every other subject, I was in the top class. And yeah, it was nothing short of miraculous. And I was also saying that even though my attendance was still not great, even all the way through high school, and it wasn't anywhere as bad as it was when I was a child, when I was in primary school. But it was still pretty bad. Even still, my teacher showed me favour, and he wrote how that I'd had 85% attendance, when in actual fact I knew that I totally knew that was not true. But I felt like, don't knock it if that's what he says, then let him say that, because yeah, as a teenager you don't really argue with your teacher, do you? But I'm grateful that he did that, because if he hadn't yeah, I actually passed my maths at 35. When I was 35 years old, I passed my maths exams, and yeah, it felt like a really massive achievement, to the point where this is ridiculous, but the teacher, when I was when I was being a teaching assistant, he actually had me teaching maths, which is just unbelievably ludicrous. It's like, how could he have had me he got me to teach maths. I was like, that's just ridiculous. But there you go. So I found that very funny, that here I was teaching maths. So yeah, what else was I have to say? So then, fast forward. So I did university. I actually did art at university. I did art and theology. maths for me is something that happens to other people. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but as in other people do it, or as in other people don't have a problem with it, and I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mark. So I did art at university. I didn't do painting again. I did lino printing, I think it was, and eventually I focused down on textiles and like textiles as a fine art. And I actually still want to. What's that? I still really want to. You don't do it. Wow, that's amazing. We all do maths, don't we? That's the thing. We all do, I think, what's called functional maths. So we all have to add up for this, that, and the other, exchange rates, all sorts of things we have to do, like use maths for. But it's funny how, really, in day-to-day life, you don't use any of the maths that you do at school. And my wife does it for me. that sounds like a good arrangement. But what we do use, don't we, on a daily basis, is functional maths, which I think is what they more teach these days. Maybe, I don't know. Particularly people who need to get into like different courses. I know somebody recently who's done functional maths, and I think it's about like using maths that is actually useful, because really maths is just not useful in any way, shape or form. None of us use what we learn at school. I mean, let's face it, how much of what we learn at school, what we learnt at school, do we actually use in real life? How much? Because I would suggest we don't use a whole lot. That we just, they teach us all this stuff, but it's a bit useless a lot of the time. What we need, the kind of things that we need to learn, we don't learn. Anyway, that's a talk for another day. So anyway, I did fine art at university, and then I left university and I actually went into what's called ministry. You're more right-brained. Well, I guess so am I. I need to go over these again. I don't know why. I'm just, when you're just kind of getting rid of paint. Just getting rid of paint. So I need to try and mix this with this. I'm trying to mix some blue and some white to be able to make a kind of like nice blue colour for this up here. So I'm gonna, but it's not, I might need to get it a bit more darker than that. I think this is going to need a few coats. What was I saying? Yeah, so I did art at university, and then I went into what's called ministry. So I went to what's the word? I went to work in youth work basically, and oh no, I don't want black. I went to work in youth work, and I completely kind of gave up art for about 4 years. Was it 4 years? No, it might even be more. Now, as an arty person, as a person who does art, I did whenever I remember I did a cartoon, and I would do lots of like crafts and all sorts of things like that. But when it came to actually properly doing art, I didn't do any for a good few years, until I went to actually, you will just confuse me. I think you're talking about the right brain thing. So I was in Argentina and I got connected with this arts team. Now some of them were painters, some of them were acrobats, some of them were dancers. They did all sorts of things, and I just knew I had to join them. I just knew I had to join them, and so I did. Okay, the left brain type has been described as logical, analytical, and detail-orientated, while right brain people have been characterized as creative and intuitive, though other supposed traits have been attributed to each. In any case, the left brain types are not scientifically supported. Yes, but we all know it's true. Like, I just don't do those things, that right brain, and they just bore me to tears as well. Anyway, back to my story. So there was this group of artists, and I just felt this pull towards them. I believe I would say, and I believe, that God was. Oh, Mo is watching. Hello, Mo. I would say, from a Christian point of view, I would say that I felt like God was pulling me towards them, but I just felt like I had to join them. And bearing in mind, and they like awakened the artist in me. They awakened the sleeping artist in me, because of course, like I said to you, I'd done art all my life, and then I get to Argentina, or no, not sorry, I just stopped doing it, and in terms of kind of like as a thing, there were times when I would need to draw this, that, and the other, and for different things, but in terms of making art, I just stopped doing that altogether, and I've found that when I stop doing art, something in me dies. I don't feel completely alive if I'm not doing art, if I'm not painting, or I'm not creating, or I'm not doing something creative, or I'm not sewing. That is something that I definitely want to get back into, because I did it at university, and it went well, and I've felt the pull to do that, but I haven't done it recently. I'm keep trying to get my sewing machine fixed, and I am going to get it fixed. I really am going to get it fixed really soon. So you'll be able to see some creations that I'll be making on the sewing machine. Probably not the kind of what's the word? Not like making dresses and stuff like that, but more kind of like creative, artistic stuff. That's the plan. So I joined them, and to start with, I joined them whilst I was just on my training course out there, and then I felt like I needed to come back and join them. So everything got sewn up back at home, and the following, I think, September, I joined the arts team La Compañía in Argentina. Went on staff as an artist, and I remember to start with, I did these charcoal drawings, but the person who was like he wasn't the boss, I don't think, but I just knew I wasn't doing my best. I knew that that I wasn't creating what I needed to, and that I needed a breakthrough. Anyway, I can't remember which painting it was, but I did a painting. I think I might even have sold it whilst I was out there. And anyway, I did these couple of paintings, and it was like, yes, I've broken through. I can paint. I can do this. Because bearing in mind, despite the fact that I'd always been arty, I'd never painted in my life. And so that was in 2000 and, I think 2002. So what's that? How many years ago is that? Again, yeah, maths not my strong point. That was in 2002, so that is 22 years ago. Is that 22 years ago? Is that right? Anybody? So, and since that time, I've always painted, and like I have gone long periods of time where I've not painted, but I've always felt like something's not quite right here. I don't totally feel myself because I've not been doing something creative, or I've not been painting, because it's who I am. It's a very big part of me. So it's really important that I continue. And it can be hard, like, because there's so many things that need doing in life. Even like the mundane things and stuff, and these things cannot wait. And so often the art stuff gets put to the back of the pile. But I realise that that it mustn't. That there's that I need to continue to be creative. Even for my own. In some ways, my own mental health these days, that I would carry on doing art, and I've found that there's what we call blessing when I've done art as well. It's been able to bless me, so things have gone better for me. That means when I actually have done art. So yeah. So that's a bit of my story. It's just been such an integral part to my life, all the way through my life, from being a little child, where that's what I did. That's what I did when I was at school. That's what I did when I was at home. I would do art, and I don't even remember it. I don't even think it looked like anything particularly, but I just carried on creating all the way through. I carried on creating, and like I said, it's in some ways it's what saved me. It gave me a reason to keep going, because I knew that I was good at art. I'm just gonna, I don't know whether you can see it down there, that's good. I need to use a thingy brush. That's the thing. Sometimes it dries and you can't actually see what you've painted. And I think it was, during the pandemic, I just, hey, David Pennington, creativity is in our nature, and is extremely healing. Great to see you back painting again. Yes. And lots of developments, David. I don't know if you've seen, but I'm going to be doing in-person sessions as well here in Rochdale. First one is next week. So, yeah. I've been doing some stuff, like, even when I didn't have this show on, but I felt it was right to come on every week and to just start painting, and because I remember, it astonished me how much people enjoyed this show when it was on YouTube. So I'm on YouTube. All of you who are here this evening, I will put a link in the chat, and elsewhere, so you'll be able to please subscribe on on YouTube, and then I can literally do this show on YouTube, which would in some ways be a lot better. Yeah, so I did a lot of painting during the pandemic, which again, I think it's what was really, although I did it, I kind of did it to kind of, I guess, help other people, and I still do. You know how it really helped me, because I painted so much through the pandemic. I had a number of commissionings. I did a whole Christmas card collection. And you know, I think a lot of us, those of us that are artists, we did a lot of creativity during the pandemic, and it was so good for us. Looking back, I think it's what kept me busy. It's what kept me focused. It's what kept me enjoying life, because you know, I was, when everybody, I guess everybody else was kind of like freaking out about the pandemic, and I'm not saying I didn't freak out, I did. I I was able to paint, and so it was a really great thing for me. So I'm really grateful that, you know, I've had this in my life, and I've had this always in my life, and it's always been something that I've been able to go back to, and now it's something that I can share with others, which is really beautiful, that I'm able to share it with other people, because it's great when you can share your gifts with other people. It's really it's really beautiful that I can do that. And what was so great about the programs during that was that people were starting to be creative who had never been creative in their lives before, and they were able to. I was able to just show them, look, you can have a go. Look, you can do this. You know, there were people that came on that were artists, like my friend Dave, and there were people that had never done art before, and they just enjoyed having a go, and that's what it was all about. And that is what Come Paint With Me is all about. It is about having a go. It is not about you know, if you might be arty, you may have never picked up a paintbrush in your life, you may have never picked up a pencil in your life, but like what Dave says, there's something really extremely healing about being creative and about doing art. And so part of it is I want to, you know, open that opportunity to people, that anybody can do this. Anybody can just put a paintbrush to a canvas, and in a way it doesn't matter what it looks like. Nobody is saying you're going to become a professional artist, and that's not what it's about. I've forgotten. Yes, yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you. That's great. It's more about just enjoying it and just having the opportunity to be creative. And you know, kind of instilling that well-being. So yes, so this is not finished yet. I don't know whether, I'm hoping to get it finished in the next week. Yeah, so what I probably will do is do one more session on this, and I will post that next week. And so I will. So those of you that are on now, it'd be really great if you could send me questions, discussion points, something that you'd like me to talk about, and I can talk about it. Even I have an idea if you guys wanted to be on a Zoom call, and we could do it on a Zoom call and pre-record it and then put it on here. That might be an option as well. So let me know what you'd like to do, and maybe we can do that before next week. I'd really like to live stream. I'm going to read your comment in a second, Dave. I'd really like to live stream the event next week, but I don't know the practicalities of that, whether that's possible. I might ask Reggie to come and live stream the event. And obviously I have to ask the people who are going to be present, and I'll have to ask the wine press, but that might be a possibility. So we have to watch this space. Okay. And because you create, it's giving others the freedom to create too. I have 4 artists in my church creating after 20 years of not painting, and now they are creating their own work and selling paintings. So be blessed to know you are making an impact. Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what I want to see, you know. I've had people say to me, oh no, I used to do it, but I don't do it anymore. So many people say that to me, and you know, it's so sad because it's such an amazing tool. It's such an amazing tool that we can use, and so yeah, I mean, that's true. You can actually have, oh great, cool, that's great, Mark. You know, you can actually, you might never have painted, and people start painting. My mum, for example, she started painting in her 50s. I don't think, she doesn't do a lot now. She did some stuff last year, and she just has this really unique style, and it was one of my most popular posts ever, which was really funny. But yeah, but she, you know, she started in her 50s. I don't think she's ever sold anything. I may try and sell her work at some point, but yeah, there's people who start, like, you know, later on in life, and yet they go on to sell. Why not? You know, why not? And I think one thing I'm learning. Okay, thank you so much for Tina for joining us, and thank you so much for being part of it. And I will see you really soon. One of the oh, I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Nope, it's disappeared. Yeah, one of the things I'm learning is that we're not in competition with each other, because actually we all have different styles. And I'm learning that my voice and my style are very unique, very, very different to a lot of other people. And you know, I think of Dave's style, absolutely beautiful. He's a phenomenal artist. And again, I don't think been doing it so long, but he's very, very, very good. And yet his style is completely different to mine. I mean, just so different. Again, I've seen somebody else on his work, and they, again, very different. And so, you know, it's like we all have a unique style and a unique voice. And there'll be people out there that will love what I do. There'll be people out there that'll really not like what I do. There'll be people out there that'll love what other people do, and you know, I have to be okay with that, because some people like my style and other people like someone else's style, and that's okay. And I'm learning that that's how, you know, we all, there's a lady that I'm following recently, and she talks about finding your art village. And to not worry about those that don't like your stuff, because not everyone's going to like your stuff, but some people will. And it's about finding those people, because they do exist. And you know, so one of my endeavours, I've started this. Well, I've not started a YouTube. I already have a YouTube, and this will be going on the YouTube. I've had a YouTube for a while, but I've done very little on it. But over the last week, inspired by another mentoring thing that I'm doing, I've just started to inject some energy into it, and I've started this stream of like becoming a famous artist, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. It's like, I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to become a famous artist, although, you know, and also I was talking about why did I want to? Well, because I want to have a voice, because I want to make a difference, because I want to do what Dave's talking about, and you know, obviously there's the, you know, I don't want my paintings just to gather dust. I want them to live in someone's home, live in someone's place. I want them to make a difference, and I know that, you know, God's said to me many times that He wants to bless me through painting. So yeah, I want people to be able to share in what I'm doing, and I want to bring joy and colour and life to people's homes and people's offices and people's places. So, you know, that's another reason why. And I just know that as I do that, I'll be able to make a difference. So I really want to make, that's a big passion of mine, is to make a difference as an artist, to really have that voice, and so that I can say things. I put on a post on Instagram recently that there's two things that ways that artists should bring light, and oh yeah, that's true. Okay, sorry, there's some comments here I'm just going to read out. We are all storytellers who have different stories, or the same stories, but just told in different ways and expressions. The important thing is to do it. It's worse having a story that isn't heard than a story told and someone not liking it. Oh, that's really powerful. I'm going to remember that. And don't forget the antennae on the butterfly at the top. Yes, you have a point. But you know what I need to do before I do that, and you've just reminded me, I am going to actually do a little bit of a sky at the top, because I didn't even realise that that's what was needed, but now I've realised that's what's needed. So I'm going to put a sky on the top, and then I will be able to put the antennas on it. So I'm going to actually use some of this paint that, oh, okay, that's not going to work. Oh, flip. That's well too watery. Oh, la 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 la. I don't know why that's so watery. I never have it. Let's put some more. Togmush cells. No. Okay. Not ideal. This will dry in a sec and I'll be able to, but I don't want it to run on my painting, so let me just because I do want to listen to what you were saying, Mark, about putting antennae in it, and I will. So, I mean, something that people can do on here is they can tell me, do they think that a Zoom meeting would be good? Is that something that people would be interested in? Because I know that we used to do that. And yeah, although I know that we used to, you know, in the end we did it live on Facebook, and we had people joining us, which was great. I just wanted to so I had some blue left, so I was like, right, well, let's use the blue. I don't even know how that works, but anyway. Just so that I could do those antennas that you were talking about, Mark. I think we're going to have to do all blue up here, and we'll do green at the bottom. I think that's what we'll do. Oh. You don't always know what you're doing, you know, till much later on. And then I can have like green at the bottom and then blue at the top. So yeah, don't know if we're still here. I actually quite like that now with the blue. I've got blue everywhere though now. I'm going to have to put some more blue over that as well. Well, this is going to be a bit longer. Okay, well, it's really nice to... Reggie's not here, but, well, he's downstairs. But thank you, Mark, for joining us. I'm just going to do a little bit more blue, and I think I'm going to go head off myself. Got a few things to do. I've got all this white here, and I don't want to lose it. But I can cover up the white with that. I will not forget the antennae, though. Mark, of course not. We'll put some white in that as well. So thank you for joining us. It's been really great having you all on here. Thank you for joining the discussion, and it's so great to have the comments because it just means that it's not me talking to myself, which is just not fun. So this will be going on YouTube in a bit, and like I said, please like, subscribe, talk to me on YouTube. I'd love to talk to you over there. Yep. All right. Well, lovely to see you as well, Dave. I'm probably going to head off myself now. But thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Hope you've enjoyed seeing this picture develop. One more session on this, and then we'll be moving on to another one. All right. Well, this has been Come Paint With Me. Check me out on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe. See you all soon. Take care. God bless. Good night.